Hello everyone, welcome to my get together, or I should say welcome to my cocktail hour. My name is Aleka and today we are going to be talking about the best type of parties, in my opinion, cocktail parties. I love cocktail parties because everybody is dressed to the nines, all inhibition has been thrown out the window. Fancy drinks and food are laid out, the music is playing, everybody's having fun, the atmosphere is always pretty vibey. Is that a word, vibey? And best of all, the children stay at home. So today, if you want to learn how to throw the best cocktail party in the comfort of your own home with minimal stress, it's totally possible. I have 10 tips I'm going to share with you. Let's get started. Tip number 1 is to send a classy invitation. Now, I know we're in the generation or the time where a lot of us like to send text messages out, but A, they're not very formal. B, they're not very personable. C, a lot of people miss text messages, or they forget to respond, or they just forget about them entirely. So do not go the text message invitation route. Instead, you have 2 other options. The first option is to go the paper route. Go online, find a good cocktail party invitation that you can print out either on good cardstock paper, or you can order invites and have them shipped directly to your house. You can do this on so many websites. Even Etsy offers a variety of great cocktail party themed invitations that you can easily customize and print out. And then all you have to do is go through a little bit of effort to address them and stick that stamp on and send them out. The con is they're a little bit more pricey. They take a little bit more time to send out, but the big pro is that when your guests receive them in the mail, they feel so special and excited to receive that tangible paper invitation. They put it up and then every time they look at it, they are excited, hopefully, for your cocktail party to come. Option 2 is the new fancy hip way to send an electronic invitation, an Evite. There are so many websites out there that allow us to send easy Evites. If you're not familiar with Evites, just Google Evite and there will be many websites that will come up. All you do is customize it to your needs, add all of your guest email addresses, and press send. This way, they're going to get the invite in their inbox. And the con is it's not as personable or formal, but is very convenient and it's very, very cheap. Once your guests get that invite, they can RSVP right away. They can tell you how many guests they're bringing or family members they're bringing with them. They can also message you through that platform and you can communicate with them that way a little bit more formally. And best of all, you can see who has opened the invite and who has not, which is my favorite feature of it. So this way you can reach out to those that maybe did not get it. Tip number 2. In my opinion, this is the most important thing, not just for cocktail parties, but for any party you're going to throw at your own home. Set the tone within the first 5 minutes of your guests entering your party. So this means when your guests arrive to your house, you want all the lights to be on if possible, especially the lights that you have outside of your house. Make your house look welcoming. Have a sign outside if you have something that you want to put, come in on the door, welcome, walk right in. Signs are my favorite thing when it comes to entertaining because it's a way to communicate with your guests without having to be in 20 places at once. Once your guests enter the party, have a place for them to place their shoes and or coats if it is colder outside. Make sure that place is easily visible and right at the entrance. I remember back in the day when my parents would always throw parties at home, the designated coat area was in the upstairs bedroom. Now, it's nice to have everything like that kind of out of sight, out of mind, but if guests want to leave early or they have to go outside and it's cold outside, you don't want them kind of wandering around your house or finding you to ask you for their coat. So it would be nice to have the coats and shoes in a place where it's kind of hidden but easily accessible to your guests. Also, part of setting the tone for the party is offering your guests a drink right away. We all in the ideal cocktail party world would have a butler standing at the door with a tray, just walking around as people enter. But that's not really the type of party that we can all afford these days. So instead, make sure that when your guests enter, you are ready to serve them a drink, or at least ask them what they would like to drink. Everyone loves to be catered to, so individually serving them a drink will make them feel special and welcome. Tip number 3. Have your drinks and your food ready to go. Now, this is, again, for many different parties, but especially with a cocktail party, because that's where all of the entertainment is going to be surrounded around. So if you are not ready, and I am completely guilty of this, waiting till last minute to do things and scrambling around, getting the food ready, warming it up, serving this drink or mixing up a drink as guests enter, it is not what they want to see when they enter your classy cocktail party. So instead, make sure you're doing all of the prepping of the drinks and the food in advance, preferably the day or night before. Having a signature drink is something that I strongly suggest your cocktail party has. Maybe choose something that's not overly sweet, not overly strong, something that's a good balance of all of those flavor profiles so that everybody will be more inclined to try your signature drink. Make sure it's easily accessible and it has maybe a cute little sign for what goes in that signature drink if you're allowing them to make that drink themselves. And allowing them to make the drink themselves is a fun little activity at the party where they can get creative and get hands-on, and every guest likes to do that. On the other hand, if you don't want guests to individually prepare their own drinks, think about creating a batched cocktail, either in a punch bowl or one of those large drink pitchers that guests can easily serve themselves with one twist of a knob. These type of batch drinks are going to be very easy to make ahead. You can do this the night before and put the entire thing in your refrigerator. This way, an hour before the party, you can just pull it out. It'll be chilled. You can add more ice if you need, and then your drink will be ready to go for guests to serve themselves. Always have a sign nearby so that you can tell guests what is in the drink and all of the ingredients as well. So if there's some guests that do not want to drink an alcoholic drink, think about adding the booze on the side, maybe typically a vodka drink. Put the vodka on the side and allow guests to add it to the drink after they pour it for themselves. Think about having a designated cocktail bar area for your guests to create their own cocktails. Some guests like to create their own because they want to make it the way they like it. Popular cocktails are cocktails like Negronis, Old Fashioned, Martini, a Dirty Martini, a Gin and Tonic, a Manhattan, and mojitos. Those are pretty standard drinks that most people like, so having the liquors available for them to make these drinks would be something we should think about. So having your basic liquors like gin, vodka, tequila, and possibly bourbon would be great bases for our drinks, and then adding soda water, sodas, juices, bitters, grenadine, things like that on the side would be really nice to have for guests to kind of make the drink the way they like to make it. In addition to your signature drink, think about what other cocktail options you're going to provide your guests. Are you going to offer beer, wine, champagne, hard liquors? Always think about the mixers that you're going to offer your guests as well. Standard mixers would be things like orange juice, sodas, tonic water, sparkling water, and all of the above. Always make sure that you have certain bar accessories. It is a cocktail party after all. And then of course offer the right glasses. Highball glasses are better for some drinks. Lowball or whiskey glasses are obviously better for whiskey type drinks. Wine glasses, champagne glasses, whatever type of drinks you're serving, make sure that you're serving them in the right glass. I do believe that the glass makes a drink. There are so many fancy glasses out there. You don't have to get too crazy, but maybe put out a selection of different glasses for your guests to choose from. That makes the cocktail party even more fun. Tip number 4. This tip is very unexpected and something not many people talk about, but is my pet peeve when I'm at any party. Trash cans. Have enough trash cans around your party. and make sure that they don't overflow. Now, many of us have been to a party where their trash is overflowing, stuff is spilling out, you're pressing it down, you're waiting for somebody to empty it. You're not going to empty it because it's not your party, but you don't want to bother the host to empty it, and it just makes everybody uncomfortable. Having a full trash can also forces guests to put their plates and cups and all of that down everywhere around your house, which makes your house messy. So having more than one trash can spread around your house is very crucial to making sure A, that one trash can doesn't overflow and get full too fast, and B, that your house stays clean and everybody can toss out things without needing to go 5 rooms over to throw out one piece of trash. If you don't have more than one trash can in your house, look for any baskets or any tubs that you can line with a trash bag neatly to make it look a little bit more appealing and less ugly. With that said, it may be something that you may think about purchasing a couple days before the party. They are very inexpensive. You can get a nice looking one and you can keep it handy for whenever you have parties at home. Tip number 5. Have plenty of ice. It is a cocktail party after all, and we do not want to be serving warm drinks. This is the one thing that you really can't do ahead of time unless you have a large cooler. So if you want to keep your ice cold, go to the liquor store or your grocery store the night before, buy a couple bags of ice, and add your ice to a large cooler and keep it closed. This way, the next day, your ice will still be frozen and you won't have to worry about running out the day of your party. Option B, go in the morning of your party and add your ice to the cooler, and then this way, that will kind of be out of the way. But think about it, if you don't have a cooler that's large enough to fit all your ice, it will have to wait until the last minute. Let's talk about where to serve the ice. Are we going to be serving ice out of this big, bulky red cooler? No, that's not very classy. So purchase a inexpensive ice bucket if you don't already have one. They even have insulated ones online that are really great and will keep your ice cold for hours. Another really fun thing to serve your guests are different shapes of ice cubes. You can find different ice cube molds online anywhere. I think I got these off of Amazon. You can make little mini ice cubes. You can make large ice cubes. You can make round ice cubes, kind of like the ones they serve in whiskey drinks at a fancy bar. They're very inexpensive and work very well. The only thing you have to think about when it comes to ice cube trays is making them in advance, because it does take a couple hours to form those cubes. So when I have a party, I will start to fill these and dump them at least a week in advance so that I have a large collection of ice cubes and I'm not waiting last minute for my cubes to freeze. The large ice cubes are perfect if your guests want to make an old-fashioned or something with that in a low-ball drink. The smaller ice cubes are great for highball drinks and really any non-alcoholic drink. Tip number 6. Have non-alcoholic drink options for your guests. You may have guests that just don't feel like drinking that day, are pregnant, or simply do not want to drink alcohol. Having a fun non-alcoholic drink option available for those guests will make them feel very special and is not difficult to do. And I mean something other than water and soda. They get bored of that and they're at a cocktail party too, so they want to have fun drinking something without alcohol in it that's not something that they can purchase themselves. Some easy mocktail recipes that you can make are adding some simple grenadine, which is a sweet red syrup, to sodas like Coke and Sprite or Shirley Temple or Roy Rogers. Takes those drinks to the next level, making them fun, a little bit unique, and adding a maraschino cherry on top will make everyone feel like they're part of the cocktail party. Another option could be make a mojito without the gin. So you can muddle some mint with some simple syrup and some lime and top it with some tonic water or some club soda, and you have an easily alcohol-free mojito. Tip number 7. Purchase some inexpensive signs. I said earlier that signs are a very important part of any party because guests will feel welcome to help themselves, whether it's to a drink, to the bathroom, where they put their shoes, their coat, walking in the door. You don't always need to be everywhere, and you can't be everywhere. So having signs is a way for guests to help themselves and tells them exactly what to do, when to do it, where to do it. My favorite type of signs are mini chalkboard signs that you can use chalkboard pens on. You can erase them and reuse them over and over again to make your own creative, customizable signs for any party. Signs would be useful for things like the type of signature drink that you're offering, or the food that you're offering. Many people will wonder what is in a certain type of food. If they have a certain dietary restriction, they may not try a food because they're unsure of what's in it. So labeling your food, your drinks, things like that will help guests try things and feel a little bit more comfortable at your party. Tip number 8, play appropriate music. There is a reason why people spend thousands of dollars at weddings for bands and DJs, because music sets the vibe. It is the most important thing at the party, in my opinion, especially a cocktail party. It should fit the mood and the occasion. A great idea is to go into Spotify. If you don't have an account, you need to look into it. It is super easy when you need a good playlist that you can just let play throughout the party and not worry about commercials or other random music coming into you, ruining your party. Certain playlists that I like to search on Spotify are jazz lounge music. I like that jazzy feel. It's relaxing, it's fun. It's not too laid back, but it's not too hype either for the party. Another playlist that you can search is cocktail music or cocktail hour music. They have a playlist for everything. So have fun searching on Spotify, save the playlist, download it so that in case something happens to your Wi-Fi, it will not stop playing in the middle of your cocktail party. And then you can always add music to the playlist and take songs off as well. And don't forget about Frank. Frank Sinatra is the best type of music to play at a cocktail party. Think about starting your cocktail party with more relaxed tunes, and then later as the party progresses, you can maybe kick it up a notch or change playlist to something a little bit more upbeat. Tip number 9. Have a variety of food at your party. Nowadays, there are so many allergies, intolerances, restrictions, and different diets that our guests are going to bring to your party. And it's so important to think about their needs because we want them to enjoy themselves and have as much fun as possible and feel like they belong, whether they're a vegan or a meat lover. It's important at a cocktail party to serve cocktail type food. So that would be hors d'oeuvres and appetizers, canapes, all of the above. These things are going to be finger food and will be easy to eat while holding a drink because we have 2 hands. It's all we can use, right? So make sure that you're thinking about serving foods that are cocktail friendly, like canapes, bruschetta, mini toasts, skewered foods. Other type of foods that you can serve at your cocktail party are things like trail mixes and Chex mixes and glazed pecans if it's a holiday party. I have a great recipe for that as well on my blog. Things that are easy to snack on that can be served at room temperature and of course made ahead of time. And my 10th and final tip is probably the second most important tip behind music. Have a wow item at your party. Now you're probably thinking, what is a wow item? Well, it's something that people will not forget. The next day, weeks, months, even years later, they're going to remember, wow, I remember that at her party, at his party, and it was so awesome, and I want to do that at my own party, or I can't wait for their next party. Things that would be a wow item could be anything from a hot, fresh, fancy appetizer or hors d'oeuvre that you serve. Maybe you decide to go all out on a fancy filet appetizer where you get the best filet and you serve it hot with a nice béarnaise sauce. I don't know, something really fancy. Or I have an awesome appetizer skillet recipe on my blog. It's called a shrimp saganaki, and basically you add ouzo and you light it on fire in a cast iron skillet and everyone goes, whoa! And it's a really cool thing to serve. It's a great appetizer and it's something that people don't normally see and it's really cool. just do that at your own risk. Another wow item could be an entire table charcuterie board, and I'm talking about the length of your dining room table. Something that takes you at least an hour to set up, but when people see it, they don't forget it. Another really cool wow item that you can offer is, I'm gonna keep talking about old fashioned because I love them, but offering a smoked drink, a smoked old fashioned. Nowadays they have many smokers available online that you can easily use to smoke any type of drink. It adds another flavor and level and depth to many drinks that a lot of people appreciate, and you can play around with the different flavors of smoke too. The final wow item could be a mini fire pit. They have so many great ones online. I just purchased this one online. It's heavy duty. It's a good size to bring inside or outside. You can serve it alongside of marshmallows, chocolate, and graham crackers to make your own s'mores indoors as a kind of way to wrap up the cocktail party. Or you can serve it with brie cheese and serve it with crackers and maybe some fig jam so people can make their own little canapes. It's a fun thing to do that's interactive, hands-on, and something that I bet people will not forget. And finally, remember to don't stress about your party. And the best way to not stress is to plan days, weeks in advance when it comes to preparing the ice or purchasing a trash can and trying those drinks before you actually serve them to make sure that you really like them and they're worth making. These are the things that you need to do in advance to ensure that your party is the best cocktail party ever. For links to all of the products and recipes that I've mentioned and to print out more tips, you can visit my blog post below. And as always, if you enjoy entertaining, make sure you subscribe and like this video so that you'll get more entertaining tips and tricks to be the best hostess that you can be. Cheers!